Okay. Um, you know, like I said, I will continuously have this moment of testimonials because there's things that happens in my brain that are forced by them to think in this disturbing ways. And when I mean them is as a target individual, you are in a program that is mentally and psychological try to torment you in this disgusting ways. It's obvious they manipulate your thoughts and they manipulate thoughts in these disturbing ways and then try to get you to feel guilty for those thoughts, right? It's funny. I'm listening to this person because they're having this disturbing talk that I will talk about, and you hear this person's like, "Ah, they wait for you. They're gonna do it." Like, because what they want you to do is to identify with what's being manipulated in your brain, and they're doing these things where once those thoughts are manipulated, forced in you to experience in these disgusting ways, and try to, I mean, please brace yourself to listen to how they're gonna how they manipulate my brain. You hear people next door. They're supposed to get you to feel guilty, right? Because you had those thoughts that they force you to experience. One thing for sure is you will have the most disgusting manipulated thoughts in your brain. And you hear these people who are contracted by those entities that have the ability to manipulate your thoughts to try to gaslight you into accepting. And some of the gaslighting consists of, oh, we're gonna frame you, we're gonna torture you, and they're gonna do some horrible things to you because those thoughts that we manipulate you to experience, but it's you. Right? It's obvious. And they try to gaslight you, but making you try to feel fearful for the thoughts that make you experience. And so obviously I get it. I understand what they do. And they try to even use this menacing voice, oh, they go wait for you. I'll be like they try to create this mean voice, like, oh, they're gonna get you. Now, can you imagine? You already like it's embarrassing for them because they think that if they continue to use this mean voice, oh, it's gonna get you. That then you gonna start subscribing to it, identifying to it, and they try to get you to identify with this manipulated thoughts. It's so disgusting, and it's just gimmicky. Just like they like to whisper, "Oh, we are. It's you. I'm gonna kill you." Like it's a gimmicky way, try to get you to feel sense of anxiety based on the nastiness. Not, I don't have anxiety in regard of what when they slam the door after these things. No, you're doing this because you want me to be like, oh my gosh, she's in my thoughts, or you saw this thoughts that is in my head, which is them manipulating. Is the disgusting part is just to experience it, because at this point the person who's making noise campaign and who's saying whatever is gonna happen to me is aware that my thoughts are manipulated this way, right? That's her job. That's his job. They're supposed to make me subscribe to it, but it still makes it so disturbing to experience it. But to listen to this clown, right? Sometimes they like it's almost so agitating. Like it's not even agitating. It's so childlike. I was like, oh, it's his thought. No, the guys, this is his thought. I could hear them in the hallway say things like that, right? They use kind of childlike individuals, like almost children, right? If they're adults, they're not like they like adult that make themselves act like children. So what is this thing? It's so nasty throughout the night, and it's funny when I'm with somebody, they try to have this back and forth. It's so hard to maintain. Like, and it's funny because she tells like this person is like, why is your face acting like she's a pervert? But like when they do this, I'm trying to act cool, but I'm like, oh, it's so disgusting. Oh, like I'm making faces because I'm experiencing some disgusting things in my head that these people do, and you're like, oh my god, and you try to play cool because you're having the most disturbing thoughts you can imagine. The latest one right now, it's about babies. Oh my gosh. And they try to really make you, they try to make you like rationalize it. They're making me think of, oh my gosh, I told you, it's so disgusting. They're making me think of a baby genital, a baby girl's genital. and then try to get me to, first of all, you understand that it's not normal to just randomly think of, oh, let me think of a baby's naked baby and the baby's genital. I don't have babies. I don't have any children in the first place. And so just to randomly think like that is on its own is disgusting. I would never on my own think, oh, let me just, oh, how would I feel if I saw a baby genital? Like, you don't do that, right? But these people start making you think of babies' genitals, and then they're like, and mind you, this is a time where they force you to experience anything pedophilia centric. What do you think is gonna happen if you think of babies' genitals? Yeah, it's gonna be some disgusting pedophilia things coming up. First of all, it's weird enough to think about baby genitals just randomly, which is what they do, and they really try to talk. Like, think about babies. How would you react? Think about baby genitals. How would you react? Yeah. This is what's happening in my head. Because it's like, oh no, it's you. Like, for example, try to, how would you think if you were thinking about baby genitals? You understand how creepy and weird it is? I don't have any kids. And then they'll be like, because I was around a little boy. I remember when her mother was like taking care of this little boy, and so it's I'm kind of more familiar with little boys. And the last time I was around like a little baby girl, and it was like when I was very, like a kid. So I was a child myself. So they're gonna try to create these disturbing ways. I'm like, what? And then they bring up some random things where they bring up this. I remember I had a coworker, my employer. And listen how weird these people are. It's so weird, and they try to kind of find ways that this thing didn't sound as weird as it sounded. I remember when I used to be working on the employer who put me in this program. I remember sitting next to on this table. It was at work. It was a lunch and learn for our department. And we go and I'm sitting with this group of people, very weird people. They start talking. They talk about their babies and whatever, and they're like, one of this coworker of mine is like, I don't know why people I don't know why people find it weird to see little girls naked, like little baby girls naked. And she said something about, like it's just like a little line. Ugh, so disgusting. And I remember I was in the table, and I looked at her, I was like, what? What kind of weird thing? I was the only man sitting there. And I'm like, what in the creepiness is this? People are, what? A little line. Whoa. And she was like saying that people find it, I was like, yeah, because why would people be normal? Like unless you have kids yourself, and unless you have to take care. We don't, like, of course it's bizarre. I don't know. And it was just like, these people are so weird. Like, people are supposed to be like, no, like, oh, it's cool, yeah. And they're like, oh, you see, they knew you felt weird about seeing little baby girls naked. It's like, what little baby girls naked? I was like, she's just so weird. They're like, that's proof, they're like, try to say, and now they make me imagine a little girl, baby girl, they're washing, and then try to make me imagine like her genitals, and then try to be like, oh my gosh. In the state where I'm full, where I couldn't even think of like even a baby without getting this disgusting stimulation, now they're gonna try to make me imagine the genitals of a baby, little girl. Is disgusting. And they're like, no, that's proof. No, that's proof that these people are just weird. Can you imagine being on the table, bunch of like people you don't know? You talk about your little girl or your baby, that's normal. It's like, oh, I don't know why people feel weird about like the baby's genitals, or like this baby girl's genitals. Just a little line. People who don't have kids, how do you, like men on the table who don't have kids will be like, okay, little line, what? Like, of course I don't want to hear these nasty things, what? And these people are like, oh, you see, that's proof. No, it's proof that these people are not normal. As I said that, they tried to do something in my mouth. And I remember I looked at her, like, what is wrong with this person? And they tried to change subject. Oh, so how was your weekend? I was like, it was good. These people are the people responsible for me to be in this program. My employer. And now they're like, no, what they were saying is like, you felt uncomfortable when you saw a little baby naked that was a girl. am I supposed to like feel comfortable around that? Like it's just like you understand? You understand? Like if I was taking care of my like my children, or if I was somebody I was supposed to take care of somebody's like if yes, but I don't want to think about baby like little girls' genitals like baby girl like it's disgusting. But of course, if I had children of my own, of course. But imagine like a 20-some-year-old, a 25, 60-year-old boy, a man, you talk about, oh, I don't know why people are so weird about baby girls' genitals. They just a little line, and you're like, what the huh? You're on the table at work, people are talking about that. It's like, it's weird. So what's happening now? They're like, no, but you kind of, when you were like a kid, when you were like a middle, and you saw when they're washing the baby, you kind of find it kind of weird that this baby has like yeah. what what so yeah, and then they start making me imagine some disturbing things with a baby, a little baby girl. Oh my gosh, disgusting things, disgusting things, disturbing things. And then keep making me think about like genitals of little girls. I was like, what the hell? It's so nasty. Now imagine this is I'm in a stage right now where they use pedophilia type of torture. And so, of course, what do you think is going to happen if they make me think of genitals of children, of baby girls? It's going to be disgusting. And they're like, oh, but you don't feel that bad when it was the little boys. I was like, what? Even that was weird, but because I'm a boy too. So this is probably like something I can look at. It's like relatable. I have that too. But what would I think about just a random little baby boy's penis or little baby girl's genital? And they try to create this like, why you feel so different, like weird about it? It's like, because I don't have children. I don't have a little girl. Why would I care? Like, what would I even think like that just randomly? And especially in this stage where manipulated in these disgusting ways. And they really try to make you think, oh, you're weird. It's like, you guys are disgusting and trash. No self, like, what disturbingness is that? And to them, it's like, no, that's proof. You see how you feel uncomfortable? Huh? Why would I feel comfortable? First of all, in this state, even let's just say I was a normal, I was not being manipulated by them. I will never be sitting here as like, let me imagine the genital of a baby girl. Oh, I feel normal about it. These people, this is the kind of disgustingness they want you to experience. This is disgusting. And then they're making me imagine scenarios of a baby girl being washed. And then try to make me imagine this disgusting thing. Of course it's disgusting. I don't want to imagine that. But now, if I had to take care of my little girl, of course I won't care. But no, this is not something normal in my life. I'm not going to imagine that. Especially now, when I'm getting forced to have this disgusting manipulation. They try to give me scenarios and try to make me feel normal about the scenarios, knowing that I know that these people are going to manipulate me to experience disgusting stimulations. They're disgusting. Even a little girl normally, they do this nasty thing. So imagine just naked. Oh my God, this is so disgusting. And they're bringing about those moments when I remember going to this African country, thinking that this thing is not going to happen. This V2K manipulation is not going to happen. What happens there? I'm being tormented so much. Even animals, there was like little baby goats, little baby animals. They will start stimulating me, giving me disgusting toward these little animals. And then on the streets, there's this woman with her baby, naked baby, showing me just making sure that the baby faces me completely naked, so they can do these disgusting things. This is the things they do. Oh, and they try to make me imagine how would you feel if you're normal. What? This is nothing. You know how many naked kids or whatever? This is nothing. It's babies. It's just babies. But now, even them try to make me imagine that, they give me the stimulations. Disgusting. And they're like, oh, they'll wait for you. They're gonna like, okay, let's go. But please understand, I'll never subscribe to these nasty things. This is how you manipulate and rewire my brain in these disgusting ways. This is why I make these videos, my testimonials. Because they want you to identify with this new version of reality they put together and try to gaslight you based on the torture you're going to experience. They truly are rewiring your brain, your memory, and try to gaslight you to accept these things. Try to make me imagine little girls in this state that I'm in. I can't even look at it. No, there's this Kardashians. They're making me think of Kardashian and one of the little girl they had. I remember before Victor, I remember it's very adorable little girl. You know, now the stimulation they make me have. So make me imagine little naked kids. These people delusional. They create a version of reality that are so unbelievably falsified. And do these disgusting stimulations and create this thing as if this is something natural. And of course I know it's not natural. It's what you forced me to experience, but I'll never be me again. I have to accept that this is the way I'll be forced to be perceiving things, memories. And be strong enough to understand this is what this technology does. These lowlifes, these bottom feeders that work for pedophiles that torture children, will force a man and a woman to think about kids in these disturbing ways. They do the pedophilia type of torture. You see what they do. You see how they look. You see even the way they react. These grown men and women are trash. These childlike people, they groom to do these things are just the bottom feeders in these things. And they try to tell, oh no, they are. That's proof. That's using this 2-cent basic gaslighting. No, the fuel. They are. It's like trash. You can't. I've been too validated. Matter of fact, around me, you're gonna hear about what they do. They force you to get disgusting, pedophilia sensation, imaginations, and thoughts. It's disgusting. And in my head, they try to do good this back and forth. But little boys, it's okay. Is it because my little boys, I've been around little boys not too long ago. Meaning that I've seen when they were taking care of my little boys. So they can't even really rewire this too much. If they do it, it's going to be obvious. But little girls, I've not raised a little girl. And so now they're making me think of imagining like a little girl naked being. It's just disgusting. Can you imagine trying to create a scenario of you looking at a kid being washed, a little girl, and then try to give me suggestions like why? Where do you think it's gonna go? It's gonna be pedophilia centric. It's disgusting. And try to make you feel normal about it. Ask a random man who've never raised a child, who's single, no. It's like imagine washing a little baby girl. Oh, disgusting. That on its own. Now imagine them in my brain manipulating it into these disgusting perceptions. Oh, it's disgusting. But that's how things are gonna go. I understood that. It's disgusting. I hate it. But that's what they do. And so they've been doing a lot of things of that. And they even try to rewire storylines into different fashion. I remember when I was working with my employee who put me in this program, at one point, I knew that something was happening. It was toward the end. I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing something. I would go to the locker room, put my stuff and go to the gym. And if I saw people coming in my, in the locker room and just go back and I was like, somebody's going in my locker. Somebody's going in my locker. They're doing something because there's no lock in your lockers. It's just opening and somebody can open it and grab whatever they want. So I was like I tried to think of, okay, how can I catch somebody who's trying to take something from my locker? So like, should I try to put like my camera, leave it in my locker, close it, and if somebody comes in, I can see it. Like when I come, if somebody comes at some point, I can see it. It didn't work out, of course, but they're like, oh, you're trying to film the people in the locker room. It's like, do you see, can you imagine corporate people in the 50s and 40s? Do you think that's who I want to see naked? Delusional stuff. Because there's somebody in this that was doing things like that, but in the women's locker room. And me, they try to create these things like, oh, yeah, okay. But I did want to see who would come in my locker and try to take stuff from my locker room, or do something, or implant something. Because at that point, I was so paranoid knowing that they were doing things. They were like gaslighting me. It was toward the end, I was like, something's happening. I don't know what they're doing, but something's happening to me. And it's like, I want to catch one of these people who might be coming to my locker room and do something to my backpack, or might implant something, might do something, might take something, something like that, might look into my stuff. but it never actually happened. I think I tried. It's like, it's not gonna work or whatever. I tried to see like, if is it possible if you close it and close and come, didn't work out. And so that's that. But they're like, oh, you see, that's why they start doing this. It's like, no. But the time I was doing that, I was already aware that something horrible was happening around me. And on top of that, who would I film? Like this 50-year-old corporate. This sad. Coming on their own stories. Because the reality was, I was just paranoid and thought somebody is coming to my locker and doing something, looking into my stuff. And it's like, oh, if something happened like that, I want to make sure I catch them. Didn't work out. Yeah, I was like, whatever. I just closed it. It didn't. So whatever they were doing, they probably were doing it. But they tried to be like, oh, you see, that's what you were. You wanted to see them. You wanted to, you're a warrior. You wanted to look up. To the point that, like, oh, they tried to make me think, oh, what about this guy? This guy was like a very fit young man. It's like, maybe there's a, oh, God. Delusional. Coming with stories and making me imagine, like, oh, you wanted to see him naked. They come up with like a fantasy. Reality is something they put together. To all my target individual, it's embarrassing. They come up with these nasty things. And I know things are going to be horrible for me, but the reality will always come back. Reality will always come back. For me, here's the reality. My employer put me in this program. This employer, where there's some random person that I disgusting. My employer put me in this program. It was really race-based. In the midst of them putting me in this program, there was somebody at that place that was doing some horrible things around there. While they were focusing this disturbingness toward me. He's been doing that for years. Now I'm in this program. You have people around the world, people around me, involved into breaking me down, because I'm just a subject, a human subject in this human experimentation. And I'm being tormented psychologically, physically, and other ways to break me down. And they use this pedophile type of tormenting that is so disgusting. So disgusting and disturbing. And try to get you to accept these things, but telling you what horrible torture you're gonna experience. I'm looking at myself. I've lost a lot of weight, and I was not a big person in the beginning. Now I'm even, my muscle are more flaccid. I cannot work out, because if I work out, I know something's gonna happen to my muscle. I know that they fragilize my bones and everything, that I could easily break something if I worked out. Right? I know that if I do something, like I can pop a shoulder. Like, so everything is just super fragile. And so they show like, this guy's gonna do these horrible things. Like, listen, I'm not even scared. I should be scared, because it's gonna be bad. But I know what this remote technology is capable of doing. So a human being versus a technology that can do so much. If you saw the people who can kill me and slowly torture me, you see how fragile they are. They can be breaking down. If this person can do these horrible things to me, what does he say? It means this technology is so sophisticated. What a big, strong man can do what? But strangle me. All these things can be done remotely. This big, strong man could be just sitting down and using just two muscles. And when I go outside, I see these people, big guys. I'm looking at them. I'm like, I feel like I'm just like a game to them, a toy. In the sense that they want to play with like a video game. It's like they just look at me. It's like, oh my gosh, I can make him do this, feel like that, feel like this is what I get from this. Like, it's like I'm a god, like literally not like a god because I'm intimidated. I'm a god because I can make you think this way. I'm a god because I can make you look this way. I'm a god because I can make you go to the restroom right now. Not because I was like, go, Like, this is what I see these people when I see them try to intimidate me. It's like, no, you just enjoy this power. You enjoy this empowerment of this technology can provide you. You can do everything to me without even touching me. This is magical to them. Which I understand. So when I see them, I'm like, they're looking at me, it's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna let us do our, let us do our video games too. Let us make him do this, do that. Like, hurt, doesn't hurt, feel good, for bad. Like, that's why I see them. So when they tell me they're gonna literally the country, oh my gosh, this is like, it's almost like, oh my gosh, that makes me like, that's, at least that's normal, right? Get like physical punch and whatever, get knocked out, that's normal. Get knocked out without nobody around you, get you passed out and fade out like there's nothing around, boom. Make me have seizures if they want to, blind me just like that and turn my side bite, make me deaf and then come, like, these people don't understand that I understand this level of sophistication. Control me to feel happy, then sad, then happy. Like, what the? I use the restroom, sometimes I feel bad, and then I feel good, and then I feel... You tell me about somebody going to castrate me, can grab me, like, you can literally, like, you can run everything in all my organs, like that. Everything, like, and then you see, like, this person's going to come and stab me. Oh my gosh. I can be bleeding internally if they want it. They can make my organs explode with not a single external wound. This is like they just think that I'm in their like little fantasy land. You can make me think in all these disturbing ways, any ways you want, any ways, anyhow, and they're like, oh, they try black girls, they try to go into the BS. Oh my gosh. And I don't know that this you can make me think in the 8 ways. They think I'm like, oh, they think I think of them as people who's researching their race. Oh, no, you're not researching. You're manipulating my brain. You're finding ways to change things around them. That's what you do. This is not an investigation. I'm a human subject where my brain, my body is for them to be manipulated any ways possible. And they're gonna manipulate in the pedophile ways they do, which is something they do systematically. This is part of the way to break down. And then they try to make you subscribe to black girls. Like, they go into the scripts. And you see this person in front of you is like, I know what you're doing. I was even mocking them, like, the way they try to sound. It's like, I know. I'm just a human subject. You do these disturbing things and you try to make me subscribe to these manipulations. And my brain is for them to control. They have created a rewired brain where they say black girls are supposed to be like, oh my gosh, she makes sense because black girl when they do this. And these child people who can easily dumb themselves down. You see, like, logic of some young adult is just like losers. See, black girl. He's such a clown. It's funny. They try to they rewire my brain in such a stupidity. Like, logic has completely escaped me. Can you imagine? I'll go get something healthcare, right? This young 20-year-old doing something to me, right? And she does a good job at it, right? And he was like, wow, that's good. She's young, but she knows how to do her job well, right? And they're like, oh, you see, just like us, we hire these people. Like, some of these people are not even adults here. They use these people who are not logical. What this person doesn't need logic. She just needs to be good at that. And it's like, no, you see, that's why we use young people. See how this younger person did a better job. I'm like, what? And they start to make me logic. They use I can show you a kid that's maybe 13 years old in this. You tell me he's really good? I know. That's the kind of people they want. And if you hear this children, oh my God. Like, this is not even children. We're talking about a young adult. Good at taking blood. See, that's why. You see, that's why we use that in 20. See, it was better than the old lady. Yeah, but go have a conversation with this person who's in her 40s. Watch her that's her mind of logic is so much better than this person. They're in the this is a program that's supposed to make you think illogically, to the point that even that to them is a proof. You see, that's why we use this childlike people. Some of them are actually children. There's even little kids, literally little kids running around saying, "Oh, die slow and run away." Black girl, little kids. And like it's supposed to make you subscribe to it. It's like, I know that's what it means. This technology is so sophisticated that anybody can be involved. Children, damn near people who are childlike, no sense of respect. I have people, young people, co-workers of mine, great at what they do. Oh, presentation, all that. But what happens? They have to be a black girl. It's our world. I'm like, you have to dumb yourself down. Once you're in this program and doing these things to people, when you involve yourself, you dumb yourself down. Because gaslighting is a method that consists of creating and making somebody subscribe to a false perception, memory, or reality. And to do that, you, regardless of how logical or smart you are, when you gaslight somebody, you're trying to make that person believe a false reality. So what does it consist of? It consists of you having to dumb yourself down, even though you know it doesn't make sense. You're going to act accordingly. Even though you see it, obviously it's not true, you're going to act accordingly because your assignment is to make that person accept these manipulations. Now, who's going to be better at that? People who are already out of touch with reality, or people who have to dumb themselves down and create this false reality? It's going to be the people who already have like like children. Like people who already they can come up with reality, can easily dumb themselves down, or already there. This is ideal. It's our world. You see, versus somebody who's older, it's like, yeah, it's our world. We are. You understand? That is why it makes more sense that you will contract somebody who is a little bit on the, just like a war. Who they like to pick? Who is easily moldable? Oh, there's the younger ones. Because these people are going to go with passion. They don't know any better. But the older ones, like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to, he's kind of stupid. I don't believe it. And so that's why when I see this, feels like, that makes sense. Look at this. She's such a loser. She don't even, barely she don't know, she doesn't know who she is. She's already, she's trying to tell me who I am. You're a black girl. I know who I am. Trust me, black girl is what you guys have been like manipulating my brain. And then it's like, oh, you molest. I was like, what? No, you molest. Using this directed energy and toward babies. You torture babies. I was like, who's ideal for these things? Childlike minded people they can easily block out this reality. They can come up with their own reality. The older you are, the harder for you to create this fantasy. You see things more in a better perspective of reality. Delusional kids, no matter how good you are at drawing blood or whatever, or creating PowerPoints, this is just something just learn. Okay, systematic. It's not about you being logical or whatever. It's just, okay, do this. But as a target individual, you gotta understand, you're gonna be gaslighted by all kind of people. People that you respect, people that you don't respect, people that you. That's how it goes. You gotta be understanding of who you are and understanding what this program is about. It's about to get you to accept this falsified reality, and people around you. From these childlike people who try to spread this fake passion. It's our world. It's okay. They start going to oh my gosh, such a clown. No, you're not. Yes, you work for these entities. Yes, you torture children and women. Yes, You've done horrible things. You do the pedophilia type of torture. Yes, you think that because you're saying I'm going to be castrated, I'm going to subscribe to it. Yes, you'll be reimbursed. Yes, you can say Roy Moore. Yes, there's a lot of pedophiles in these entities that contracted you. Yes, you're here because I was put in this here by my employer. Yes, you want me to subscribe to this false reality. So all my target individuals stay strong. These pedophiles, these lowlifes, this trash, no matter how they present themselves, are here for one assignment, is to make you accept this falsified reality, to make themselves seen as something else. In reality, they torture children and women, and they have done horrible things. Have done horrible, horrible things to some of the most vulnerable people, and they're gonna die. They think they're so empowered that in their state of doing this, like, oh, dying, losers. They can't even say Roy Moore in front of me. I'd rather die this way because they're gonna die. But having to do these nasty things to people, having to work for pedophiles, having to try to rewire people in these pedophile ways, and try to do them themselves. Oh no, it's we mind it. They manipulate grown men and women to think about kids in this way, babies, and try to be like, oh no, we know. Trash.